question?
Yeah, Chris, I know it's, regular season, all that, but you guys are ranked or number one in the ratings index or poll or whatever it's called now. Just how do you feel about that?
Feel pretty good. Feel good for our athletes. Great. It was a great meet at New Mexico, and we got a lot of things going, which is good. Added some new people in there, and continue to improve on the kids that have been racing. And yeah, I thought it was overall an outstanding regular season meet for us.
That relay, number 2 all time, didn't miss the USC time by too much. Did the relay surprise you at all, or just what you think of what those guys did?
I kind of knew that was kind of brewing a little bit. James Benson, opened up this weekend with the 200. He was kind of a key player on that. He had a little kink in his hamstring earlier in the year, so we were, as we're kind of playing the long game on a lot of these guys, and so he was able to open up with a good 200 on Friday night, and I think that's kind of the impetus. So, we knew Chris Bailey was running good. We know Aiden Owens was running good. Connor Washington. But Benson's got a key part of that long sprint program, and having him run well like he did on Friday night, I think it kind of it was a good sign. So, running the relay on Saturday and, having him run a good leg really added a lot to that group. So got great performances by everybody, and I can't say I thought they were going to run that fast, but I knew that it was a good relay team for sure.
And your jumpers, they didn't take a whole lot. I guess Pinnock took 1 jump and maybe Hibbert took 2. I mean, it's kind of eased their way in, but they still had great marks. What those guys?
And again, I just kind of go back, Bob, to what I said earlier, and that is, and I think you remember too, it's like we got a pitch count on these guys, and it's just going to we just want to take it slow. As the regular season is important. We have to get qualifiers. We have to get our team lined up for the SEC championship. We have a team of about 50 athletes, and we can only compete 27 of them at the SEC championships. That's the limit. And so there's a lot of work to be done, but we are watching these other guys and making sure that we feather that competition in away from a lot of fall training and winter training. And, we're just trying to play it smart. Hopefully we continue to get it right, but anything can happen. Nothing's easy. So it was fun to watch Pennick get out there, take a jump. He took 1 jump, and that was it. Got the second best jump in the country, and we'll play another day, I guess. Same with Hibbert. Hibbert was a short approach, wasn't, probably half of the length of his normal approach on the triple jump, and just took a couple of them and, showed how talented he was. So, but nothing's easy. We just got to keep doing what we're doing.
As far as this week, I know you're going out with the distance crew to Seattle, and I guess you're having your field events and sprinters and stuff here. What would you say about this weekend coming up?
That's another really good weekend. It would be very similar to the Razorback Invite. A lot of national caliber athletes and teams competing. When we're just taking another step forward, as I alluded to just a little bit ago. I mean, our regular season is not like a basketball, the basketball season or whatever. It's the Olympic Games for us. As far as we have to be good at the SEC championships, and we have to be good, at the NCAA meet. The times aren't going to change. We know when we're competing, and we're just trying to get as many kids there as we can, and put a competitive team out there. So, we'll play with the lineup again and do what's right for these kids individually to get them ready for the end of the month.
Going where the throwers, I think, all were at the top 8 marks, 3 guys.
Yeah.
And of course, Arkansas hadn't really been known for throwers that much, some guys, but certainly not that kind of depth, numbers. What'd you think of them?
I was very impressed. Our coach John Newell is doing a phenomenal job with those athletes. He's got a group of elite athletes there. They did an outstanding job. I don't know all the details, but I wasn't at the meet. I never made it. My flights got canceled, and I never got there. I was traveling different than the charter that we were on, so I didn't see it. But I know that Jordan West had a great throw. I think his final throw was the winning throw. The gentleman from Arizona is phenomenal, a phenomenal athlete, and I don't think he's lost in a couple of years, and just shows how competitive Jordan is and what a great job. And Roger Stoner, basically a distance thrower, has made huge leaps in the shot put and is on the verge of qualifying for the national championship, and had another big throw too. So those throwers are really doing a good job. The coach is doing a great job, and you're going to see more of that, Bob. That's kind of an area that moving forward we think is going to be really important to the development of our program and helping our cause to compete for SEC and national titles. It's going to be a thing now. So, we're excited about it.
Okay. I think I'm good. Thanks.
Thank you, Bob. Courtney, do you have a question?
Yeah, I did. Hey, Chris, I just wanted to ask kind of what your hopes were for each group, the group going to Seattle with you, and then your hopes for the ones that are staying back for the Tyson Invitational. Kind of what do you expect out of both groups, and what do you kind of hope they get out of both of these meets?
Well, our distance runners, we'll start with the group of distance runners that didn't compete last weekend. They're going to compete this weekend. Actually, we've made a slight change. We've taken just about everybody to Washington, but we are sending Patrick Kiprop to the Windy City Invite in Chicago. He'll run on Friday night as well. We just felt like that 5K is a better race. We were able to get him in. He's a national caliber athlete. We're able to get him into the fast heat, and so he'll compete at the Windy City meet. The rest of us will be at Washington, and we need to make progress. We're off to a good start. Lex Hilton, as you know, has run sub 4 minutes, and he's run sub 750. I know those times, the 4 minute time might be familiar to some people, but the 3K time sub 750 is. He's run 749. I think that's ranked 12th in the country right now. They take 16. So it gives you the caliber of where he's at, but we know that he's going to have to run a little faster. And so, we'll run him in the 3K. Hope he can improve on that time he ran a few weeks ago. Patrick, I said, is going to be in the 5K. And then also we got an outstanding group of other athletes that will compete in the mile in the 5K as well, whether it's Elias Schimmel or Ruben Reyna, Ben Shearer, Josh, all those guys will compete. So we feel like we got to catch up to the rest of the group right now. We trained last week and took a weekend of rest, and now it's time for us to step up in the mile, improve our times in the 3 and the 5K, and hopefully make some national progress. As far as the rest of the guys, it's just, as I mentioned earlier, it's just a continuation of for example, James Benson, he'll run. I think he's running pretty sure he's running the 400. Case has him in the 400. That'll be his first open 400, and the SEC meet is 2.5 weeks away. So that's a big race for James, and we got things like that happening. The hurdlers, continue to make progress. Fabian Gilbert, Philip Lamonius, Matthew Banks, Lewis, those guys are really running well. But again, they're on the cusp, and that's kind of a late blooming type of event for us. And so, we've got, we're hoping for some improvement there as well. They ran well all of them made the final at the New Mexico meet, and we just have to keep improving. So it's all about just keeping, a foot down on the gas pedal and keep it rolling.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
And Coach Harder's with us now as well, so we'll get some questions to him. One more for Coach Bucknam. as evident of the successful weekend you had, you moved to number one in the rankings and you sweep all 3 awards in the SEC, and you're doing it at the host site of the national championships in March. So that's got to be pretty exciting to see what performance your team was able to accumulate and across a very different areas as well.
Yeah, I was just really happy with how our kids not only prepared for this for the meet this weekend, this past weekend at New Mexico, but how they reacted after the meet, after their performance was equally as important. And that is, hey, they were happy, they were high-fiving a little bit, but it's like, hey, it wasn't, we know there's a lot more in the tank and we know there's a lot more to do. And so our kids, I really felt like we acted like we had been there, and that we know that Florida's going to tack up our 4x4. They're going to tack up on their bulletin board what we did this week. Same with LSU and A&M and Texas Tech. And so we know that all of a sudden now the target's on our back, and we're glad that we're in that position, after a couple of years where it feels good to be back there. So bring it on. Let's go. Let's see what we can do. And we know there's going to be a lot of teams after us now, but we're excited about the type of kid we have. We know that when the bar gets raised, we're gonna be, making some of those. So we're looking forward to it.
Thank you. Bob, did you have a question for Coach Carter?
Yeah. Hey, Lance, how you doing?
Hi, Bob.
As far as this weekend, I think Sean said you're going to Seattle. I know obviously they got the nice big what do you call it, oversized track out there, and
Exactly.
kind of what are you looking for from your distance crew out there, and then the folks that'll be competing here in Fayetteville?
Well, as far as Seattle goes, this has traditionally been a place where our distance crew really kind of defines their abilities at the SEC level as well as the national level. And the races are going to be setting up to give some of our kids that are developing, as well as, our leader like Lauren Gregory, to get a chance to establish a national time in the 3,000. She already has it in the 5, she already has it in the mile. We have it in the distance medley. So this is kind of the fine tuning to give her multiple options at the national championship, as well as some of our young developers. And obviously we're trying to get marks posted for the SEC meet, be it, either place, Tyson or Husky in Seattle. Tyson, be exciting because we didn't run all our sprint cadre at New Mexico. The ones that did ran very, very fast, and a lot of them established lifetime bests. But this will be the week where, Britton Wilson runs the 400 for the first time. So we're starting to, really put our aces, so to speak, in their primary event. And we look forward to some great marks coming out of Tyson. And the way the field has loaded itself up at Tyson, if you're running 400 meters or under, you're going to run fast times. And then that same thing holds true out in Seattle.
I know Britton, she was a little under the weather. How's she doing, and where would you say she's at in her training?
She has come back. She's had good training sessions. I stayed home from New Mexico last week and had the opportunity to work with our 400 meter cadre of athletes. Obviously, that includes Britton. They did some remarkable training, and Chris Johnson says they continue. So yeah, we're looking for good things to happen this weekend across the board for all our athletes. The only thing that we're going to probably back off of is Amanda Fasthold, jumped the highest mark in the United States in the vault. Even though it's a home meet, she has missed a lot of training because of some injury. So she'll lay low this week and just train.
it's kind of off topic, but you probably might have seen this, that mountain in New Hampshire. They had like it was 100 degrees below zero or something. I was thinking, I think that might have been that mountain that Lauren ran up in the fall.
She was definitely in that vicinity. Yes, it was a lot warmer when
Yeah.
she was there, but I saw that on the news too.
I
That
was thinking, man,
I didn't realize thermometers could go that deep into negative numbers.
yeah, I guess that's not a good time to vacation in New Hampshire. And
By the way, it's Mount Washington.
That's
okay,
right. That's Chris's stomping ground.
okay. Have you ever been there, Chris?
Oh yeah.
But not when it's 100
It's like
degrees.
it has the
below
harshest.
zero.
It literally has the harshest weather in North America. I think
Okay.
top of that.
Okay. I always
Yeah.
thought there was that place in Minnesota. What
International Falls.
International Falls. Yeah, they always have that on the news. Yeah, it's like 85 degrees below zero or so. So okay, well, I was just wondering. I saw that. I meant to ask. I said, man, I think that's a place where Lauren ran up the mountain in the fall.
Yeah.
Thankfully, and
She
ate the
was-
strawberries or whatever she said.
She was there.
So
I
she
think
ran
we're
up
all
that-
I think I'm gonna include mountain training in my regime. Now.
Well, yeah, it seems to work. I just remember she looked. I watched the video and she looked so fresh, and then she was talking about eating strawberries or something. I was like, hey, whatever works for you, you know. Okay, okay. Well, I think I'm good. Thanks.
Courtney,
Hey,
you have a question?
yeah, Sean, I did. I wanted to talk to Coach real quickly about Amanda Fashold. I know you said she's laying low this week, but picking up SEC honors of co-field athlete of the week. I mean, how awesome is that for her? And then talk about her performance so far this year.
Amanda's a phenomenal competitor. She had a setback not too long ago with injury, and so she missed a pretty good sized block of training. And our training room and our doctors have been very careful and incremental in her progression back. So to be able to jump as high as she has jumped is a tribute to her competitive spirit. So I think if we can continue to, one, keep her healthy and maybe get some of that background back under her belt, she could jump higher. And obviously the next barrier is 15 feet. So we always look forward to that. But a bunch of vaulters that are rivals to her have chosen to come. They're from South Dakota, Rutgers University, and so on, that have some stars of their own. And I guess they want to come see how phenomenal our vault facility is.
And number 2 ranking for you guys this week. I'm sure, I am number 1. What do you guys need to get back, to that spot?
Well, this year, the way the poll is operated is by how you establish marks in the top 10. So I would be surprised if Lauren, for example, is not in a top 10 mark in the 3,000. And then one of the things that is a little bit of a misnomer in that is one individual, a young sprinter from Florida, for example. She's in the top 3 in the 60, the deuce, and the 400. Well, at the national meet and the conference meet, she's not going to be able to do those things. So that redundancy by just one athlete or possibly one or two kind of gives you a false sense of how good you are. But we're ready to make our mark and add some top 10 marks, either here at Tyson or in Seattle.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you. Anybody else with a question? Good deal. Appreciate everybody's time today.
Thank you so
very
much.
much. Sorry for my
Thanks.
tardiness.
Thank you all.
Bob,
Yes.
it was